That's awesome.
Hello, everyone, and welcome down to episode number 52 of the Down South Photo Show with me, Brendan Waits, here in sunny, where am I? Yeah, look, it is sunsetty, Ocean Grove, Victoria. And that guy over yonder who is down in Hobart, Tasmania. Good evening, Mr. Cameron Blake.
Good evening, Mr. Waits. A good start to the show. No, thank God we don't well, we are recording before we start, so
I wonder, hopefully we were actually online with each other tonight for a good half an hour before we kicked things off.
We've actually done a bit of research here because we have a very special episode coming up, don't we?
It is a super special episode, and if you're across our podcast and our socials and stuff like that, you're here to hear about the winner of the $150 Digidirect gift voucher that we've been running all of the month of August. So how excitement. And of course, we're not going to tell you straight away. You're going to have to wait.
Yeah. Did you say how excitement?
I did.
Oh, okay. English is good.
I talk good England.
So what episode are we at? 52. That's
52.
Pretty good.
Now, fun fact about 52 is one of my all-time favorite numbers, and this has got nothing to do with photography, but can I tell you a little anecdote about the number 52?
Is it your age?
No. So, Cameron, how many
weeks in the year? 52.
Correct. How many cards in a deck of cards?
52.
Okay. Now, did you know that if you took a deck of cards and you shuffled them, and you shuffled them correctly, so you did like a casino shuffle where you shuffle them up, and, proper shuffle,
you'd still have 52 cards.
You would still have 52 cards, but do you know that those cards are now in an order that no cards have ever been in that order in the history of humanity?
How do we know that?
It is statistical probability, and there is a number known as 52 factorial. And I'm going to put a link in the description for you guys because it's going to blow your mind. If you have, you've probably heard this before, some of you, but if you haven't, I want you to look it up. 52 factorial. Google it now, Cam, and tell me what 52 factorial is, what the number is.
Yeah, it's approximately 8.0658E67.
That's right. So say that again. It's what?
8.0658E67.
Yeah. So that to the power of 67. So that's that number with 67 zeros after it.
Yeah. It's a billion years. A billion years currently equates to 3.15 and 16 seconds. Why? What is?
Because it's episode 52, and it tickled my fancy that 52 factorial is a ridiculous number because it relates to the playing cards thing.
There is a YouTube combinations of 52 cards.
Yeah, you watch that later and be prepared to have your mind blown.
So what you're saying is that the 52 cards will only go in the same order if shuffled properly. Will only go in that same order again.
Yep.
Every 8 something times to the power of 67.
Correct.
So that's not saying that's saying it won't never happen again. We've just got to shuffle it. We've just got to shuffle the cards.
Yeah, and if you want, there is a fantastic YouTube clip that shows you exactly how long that would take to happen again, and you will. Your brain actually can't calculate how long that is. So to put it in a real simple term, there are more combinations in 52 cards than there are atoms in our galaxy. Get your head around that.
So why not 53?
Correct. So 53 factorial is even bigger, but 52 relates to our episode tonight and a pack of playing cards, just to help you get your head around things. So there you go. That's a way to fill in 5 minutes of this podcast. Sorry, that was just completely off tangent.
I sort of feel like I should be smarter for that bit of information, but I feel like I'm actually dumber for it.
Feel like you're a bit dumber. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. But I recommend people look that up. So how have you been, Cam? You've had a big week. You've been back at your playground. I can see over your shoulder there. Let's talk about your background. Go on.
Oh, it's just a chopper shot from Cradle, that sunrise shot. No, we at the end of our East Coast trip. Last time I spoke to you guys, I was at Cradle Mountain, finishing up my East Coast Cradle Mountain trip. That very next morning, I did mention last week that I might have put something on the screen about here, and then you said no, we're not going to do that. So we didn't. So here it is in the background. Maybe it is. So we took off the next morning. It was -3, I think it was, at the helipad, and all the puddles on the helipad were frozen, and we had doors off, so we were excited about the fact that we're going to be freezing our bollockses off. And anyway, we got in a helicopter. The pilot's like, right, you need to rug up, you need to put everything on, and it's going to be cold up there. Be ready for it. And we took off, and we got up to where we were here. I think it was about 8,000 feet or something like that. And it was 8 degrees warmer than on the ground. Yeah, 8 degrees.
Now, was that because we were like a, what do they call it, a layer inversion or a temperature inversion, where the
if you see behind me down the bottom here this way, there is a lot of fog. There's actually a bit of cloud inversion all through all the valleys. So yes, there was a bit of an inversion of cold air going on, but we got up there, and as you can see, we got reflections of Cradle Mountain in the Dove Lake right over here. So it was magic. We did a 20-minute lap around the back of the mountain over here, Barn Bluff, around the back and around this side. It was magic. So my guests were petrified before we took off. They weren't really keen on doing a doors off flight as of their first ever chopper flight. But we had Nick from Cradle Mountain Helicopters. He was great, really, really rest assuring everyone. And we got up there, had a great time, and we landed, and they wanted to go again. They were just buzzing. So it was really cool.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was good.
Very, very cool. I love the shot of Cradle with the reflection. That's just that's so cool, and it sort of puts the area into perspective, doesn't it? Because like, you're so used to seeing that shot of Cradle from the water's edge there, the lake's edge. Yes. But you really get an idea on the sheer size of the landscape down there.
I can almost feel your excitement about April next year oozing out of your voice there, because you're going to get to walk through not only that little landscape, but out to the back, through where all the mountains are out the back, and it's pretty magic. So
I'm pumped for that. The countdown is on.
You've bought yourself a tent and everything, so that's good.
I've got shoes. I've got a tent. That's about where we're at so far. I'll probably need to add a bit more gear than that, but we'll get there.
That's all right. Now,
doing a trial walk too as well.
My mountainous background is absolutely complete opposite to your flat coastal shot.
Shall I cover up my camera? There we go. So this was sunset last summer here in OG, Ocean Grove. Pretty much sort of what Ocean Grove is famous for in summer is summer sunsets. We get that, and you get one of those nice hot summer days with a northerly wind, head to the beach at sunset. That's what you're going to get. You can pretty much. And if you don't get that, you'll get a thunderstorm. So it's great. You got pretty much guaranteed of getting pretty much guaranteed of getting a good landscape shot. But just wandered down the beach. I remember this night quite well, because there was paragliders getting around and a lot of people on the beach walking dogs and stuff. It was actually really, really cool. So and then
that's cool.
Hung around for a while, and the color got better and better. And it's a fairly sort of run of the mill sunset shot, but it works. It's just that's what Ocean Grove is famous for.
I love those high level.
Oh my God! Look at me now. I might have just smudged my lens for those of you listening on the pod. I'll give it a little clean. There we go.
Pixelated Brendan. Those high level clouds are cool. We get them down here in Hobart, and from what I understand, the ones we get down here are actually cold air jet streams from the Antarctic that come up as really high, really super high airstreams, and they light up like that as well, like yours. At night time when the sun catches the bottom of them. So if you see those clouds around, folks,
exactly.
Don't go home if you see those kind of clouds popping up. Stay around, because they generally light up. So you generally want high level cloud for sunsets to get the best color. So very good.
Nice. Well, that's good. Well, that's our backgrounds. We've talked about our weeks, and we will announce the winner of the Digidirect voucher in a little while. Not right now.
Let's keep it
in a little while. We would like to thank our friends. You go.
I was going to say, let's do it as a 52 factorial.
Oh, you'll be waiting a while. I would like to thank our friends at Digidirect who supplied us with the voucher, particularly Mark down there at Digidirect in Melbourne, who organised the voucher for us for all our listeners, which is fantastic.
Listeners, surely.
Absolutely. And I'd also like to thank those of you who have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, subscribing is free. There's a subscribe button down there. There's a little bell that you can touch. There's a little bell you can hit, smash, what the kids say these days, to get notifications about when our next episode is coming up.
Yes. Yeah, and don't forget the podcast as well. You can subscribe to them. And you know what I'd like to see? I'd love to get some little reviews going on in our little podcasty thing.
Yes, please. That would be great. If those of you listening can leave a little review for us, good, bad, or otherwise, but 5 stars, of course.
Even leave us your worst joke as a review. We don't mind. We like a bad joke. Just right. Great show, folks. Here's a joke.
That's right. That'll do.
We'll read some out.
We'll read. Yeah. Photography jokes. Do I know many? Anyway, maybe we could dedicate an episode.
What was that? Like I said, with that old one we used to use in the shop, where it's the only art form you can do where you can shoot people, frame them, and then burn the evidence, or frame someone else and burn the evidence. That's about it.
Your delivery was immaculate then, mate. Absolutely brilliant, first class.
I'm not a good joke teller.
All right, you can't be good at everything. That's fine.
That's it. One thing out of a million. Yeah.
Yep. So now we have 2 topics tonight. The second one being our photo comp winner. Cam brought to my attention a potential topic for discussion during the week, and we have entitled this, "Are we sharing too much?" Now, Cam, this was your topic that you came up with. So what was the angle you wanted to talk about on that?
So this angle comes from a conversation that I had with one of our show's greatest supporters, Tom Putt. He's an avid listener, and he's getting better at his landscape photography. He seems to be going okay.
Maybe Tom can sponsor an episode, and we'll put his anyway. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, next. Let's not degrade the show. Let's keep it above board. So we've had a couple of chats about just things that we do with our work, and what are we doing with our photos, and where are we putting them, and things like that. And we were talking the other day. Tom just finished doing the overland track, which is why he was on the mountain last week. And I picked him up a couple of days ago to bring him back to Hobart, and we're having a chat and talking about like the old school photographers back in the day, the old school landscape photographers, especially people like the Ken Duncans and the Peter Dombrowskis, and even like the Peter Eastways and all those kind of guys. And going back in the day when we were shooting film, like we come back from a trip, and it wasn't, you didn't bombard people with all your shots. You go get your film done or get it developed, and then they put it into a book or a calendar, or they do a slide night or something like that. But what got me thinking about this is in the conversation we're having is like, well, maybe we are actually trying too hard to share too much with our landscape photography. And maybe with that, we're taking away maybe a bit of the element of surprise, or the element of awe with what we share. It's definitely a saturated thing online with Instagram and Facebook and websites and competitions like that. But maybe we're missing the mark there. Maybe landscape photography should be about maybe not sharing as much, but sharing better, so to speak. Because we were talking about it, and he got back from his shot. He goes, "Oh, I've got 5 or 6 shots. I'll get them up and have a look at them." I had some shots from the chopper. I came back from the chopper shots, and I had them up that night, showing them off to people. And it sort of got me thinking, like, maybe we need to slow down a bit. Maybe sharing straight after you do something, or as soon as you get back from somewhere, getting on your computer and editing and sharing. And maybe we need to take a bit of a deeper breath and come back to them a couple of days later, or even look at sharing something like only sharing 1 photo a month and stuff like that. So that's where we'll go with the angle. And I thought it was a pretty good topic to bring up, because I'm sort of the opinion that if I could, it's a bit all about control as well, but if I could, I would like to start sharing less of my images, but maybe the ones I do become more meaningful for people, or maybe more impressive for people. Even to the point, I'd love to even start doing like old school slide nights at town halls down here in Tassie or something like that. Just something to go back in the day that we're not, constantly sharing stuff. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting topic. I know we live in the world of digital where everything is instant, but can we as a landscape photography community, can we dial it back and actually hold back some of the images we're going to share, and share them a bit more strategically, or maybe infrequently as well? I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's a good point that you raise. I think, okay, so while you were talking there, I started to think, okay, well, what do I do, and why do I do it? And for me, it's pretty simple, and that is the dopamine hit that comes when you put a photo up because you think it's awesome and you want people to give you praise for it. I mean, I think that as humans, that's what we're always looking for. Look, and I'm not immune to that. I consider myself an okay photographer. So when and also I think my audience probably thinks that as well. So I like to continually feed that for a couple of reasons. One, it's content that keeps people engaged. I'm a businessman. I run camera and photo as a business. So, taking, as you well know, Cam, putting a great photo like the one behind you up, that's going to get more eyeballs on you, and it's going to get more eyeballs on your business as well. So from a professional photographer's point of view, I completely get it from the business side of things. And look, it kind of bums me out a bit that it always has to do with the almighty dollar. But to be frank, mate, that's sort of what, that's what we make our living from.
Yeah, but it is. Yeah, absolutely.
But when it comes to, maybe our listeners, enthusiasts, pro-enthusiasts, people who do photography purely as a hobby, I think they put photos up for a very similar reason, and that is to have the old ego stroked. I don't know. I think that's why most amateurs do it. People take a nice photo, they want to show it off. You're literally showing off your work, and this is the day and age where you can do it so quickly. And I think that's my sort of hot take on it, without sort of drilling down too deep into it. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I agree to a point. I guess, I don't consciously think about getting, for lack of a better word, getting my ego stroked when I put an image up. To me, chucking this image up online, it's almost me. It's not necessarily showing off my photography, but to me, I find it's more me showing off the beauty of Tasmania or where I've been. Yeah. So really, to me, and this is going to sound really corny, and people probably won't believe it, but to me, I almost feel like I'm the invisible part of the photography whole chain. To me, it's I've got a camera and I'm taking a photo, but it's nothing to do with me, and it's nothing to do with my camera. It's purely to do with the location of where I am and the beauty I've seen. And I like to be able to say, hey, this photo, it's a beautiful photo of a beautiful moment that only two other people in the world were able to join me about to see it. So I'd like to share this moment with other people, just so they can see what's going on. And yes, you do get that little bit of a confidence boost when people like it, or they make nice comments about it and things like that. But I get a little bit embarrassed sometimes if people sort of say, how nice the photo is or whatever. I try not to let it get to my head as much as what some people maybe do. But I know, to me, it's almost a bit of an addiction now, that I want to hold back on some of these images I take and try and put them out to an audience in a different way or in a different scope. And that may be to a lesser audience, but maybe a more meaningful audience. And I think that comes back to as well, where we talk about social media, that this photo goes up somewhere, people will go like, and it's gone. It just disappears into the past. Yeah. Where if you're, putting it before an audience, or at a camera club talk, or at a show, or in a book or something like that, I think the audience is grabbed to that moment more. So it's not, the moment is a fleeting moment that we take as a photographer, but I don't think it should be a fleeting moment as a viewer. They just flick past it and then that whole vision's gone. And, I think that's what, like you said, it does. It feeds people. I think that's the endorphin hit, is that people, okay, well, hang on, that photo's gone now. I put that up yesterday. I need more. I need to put more photos up, and more and more and more and more. And that's obviously what social media wants you to do. Yeah. But is it taking away from the beauty and the moments that we're capturing as photographers by doing it?
I don't think so. I think if anything, it's raising awareness of, particularly a photo like the one behind you, it's raising awareness of how fragile Tasmania's wilderness is. Yeah. I think that's really important. You can look at it from that angle if you like. But I'll stop you there for a second though. But if you say, like you're saying, it's bringing the attention to it, but it's bringing a really split second attention to it, because by the time I put this up and someone likes it, there's another 1,000 images popping up that someone looks like. So which is the nature of the beast. Yeah, I'm with you there, but so I'm going back to when I did that day trip up to Dalesford and did those autumn shots. Yeah. I think the biggest part of that day for me was the the benefit I got mentally for my mental health. It was a brilliant day for that. When I was getting good photos, that was the endorphin rush then, and I was capturing these photos, but not for a second when I'm taking these photos and I'm going, that's for Instagram, that's going up. No, it doesn't work like that. I've always taken or tried to take good photos that please me first and foremost. I'm my own audience, if I can put it that way.
Agree.
We're all our own worst critic as well. And I like to think I can look at an image now and know when it works. Now, prime example, we've just been through and shortlisted the entries for the photo comp. I mean, it really is within a second. I can tell. I know what works and what doesn't work. And I think I'm sort of going a long way around to this answer here, but I think for me, it's, you know, going out to these places, getting these great photos, then editing the photos. You naturally hone down a top 10 anyway, you know, from your day. Like your photos from your chopper trip, you took 180 photos. You narrowed that down to 10. Say roughly, and then you went those three. They're the ones I'm going to post. You know, and I think that's a good thing because you're putting your best foot forward and showing your best work. But going back to your question is, are we sharing too many images? I think we probably are, and I think there's got to be more emphasis put on quality over quantity. But then you get tripped up on what you just said, and that is that you can put an awesome image up. It's gone. Like it's history. You see it in 12 months when Facebook says this is your thing from 12 months ago.
Memory from that's right. So that's to me, like, I guess what I'm trying to point out is that yes, you know, we get online and we get a great shot, and we put up there, and we want to show. There's multiple reasons why we put it up online. Either we want to show people, we want to share the experience, we want to stroke our own ego, whatever it may be. But like I said, then it's gone. Are we having a lesser impact with our images than what we would have had 20 or 30 years ago?
And how ironic is that, given the reach that social media now has?
That's right. We're having less
impact. There's no question that there's thousands more eyeballs on your photography today than there would be 30 years ago. That just goes without saying. So,
but are do those eyeballs actually care, or do they just flick through? And
I think they do, but I also firmly believe, and we've mentioned this many times on the podcast, that our photographs, although you will get the general public, you know, like whatever, our photographs reach photographers mostly. I mean, I find a lot of the comments are coming from either people that have done one of my workshops, yourself, other photographers, you know, oh, great shot. And you look at it and you go, yep, I know them. They've printed with me. That guy's a photographer. She does baby portraits, blah, blah, blah. And you go all the way down through it. And it's like, okay, so which is why a lot of the time I'll try and share my stuff to the community notice page here in Ocean Grove. But again, that's clearly to drive foot traffic to my store. But there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, that's what I do.
That's right. Yeah, that's business, and that's fine. Like, and that's the thing. Like, there's got to be a percentage of it that you do that absolutely drives business to either what I do and what you do, or whoever else is sharing their images. I just look back at, you know, images like the Rock Island Bend down the Franklin River. Like, that image itself practically changed.
Okay.
It changed the political movement in Australia.
Okay.
And
now when you look at it from that angle, I think you're completely right, because if you go back through the greatest historical photos, they were all film. They're all shot on film. I battle to find an image that was done on a digital camera that comes up in like your top 20 list of greatest photos of all time, and that includes like war photos of famous people, man on the moon,
and do you maybe think that the reason they had more impact was because they weren't flooded on a forum or a medium, and they weren't, you know, the shots of, like, for example, Rock Island Bend or the moon shots, they only released a dozen shots of the moon or something like that, or, you know, a couple of shots of the river or the war shots. But maybe the impact is higher with the lesser amount of images that we share. So, you know, like this, you look at Cradle Mountain behind me. This is a World Heritage area. It's not in danger as such, but, you know, it's always, like I said, quite fragile. You know, this image 30 years ago, maybe that could have changed the way they structured a national park, or maybe, National Geographic got hold of it and said, hey, look at this place, it's off the charts.
Yeah.
Where is this place? So now, like, the impact is lost in photography.
Now people double tap so the heart comes up and flick it left. So
that's right. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, and going back to the topic, like, are we sharing too much? And by doing that, are we actually taking away the importance of the images that we're creating? I think the answer is yes. I think if we want to continue to make sure that landscape photography is important to environments, or whatever it might be, whatever your movement is, or whatever your story is you want to tell, I think by sharing too much, we're actually taking away from the importance of what we're trying to share, what the message we're trying to do. And this is why, you look at exhibitions and things like that. Exhibitions are still, that's that moment where people go in and they look at a photo for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or they sit in the room with a whole heap of work and go, wow, I get this now.
Yeah, it'd be interesting though, wouldn't it, to hold an exhibition and not show one of your photos in the preview?
Well, that's where I'm actually thinking of going with stuff. I'm actually thinking of, and this is what Tom and I were talking about as well, I'm actually thinking of creating work, and he's similar as well, creating work that doesn't get released. It maybe gets released once a year or once a quarter, or and then people might be more driven to go, okay, what's Cam been doing? What's Brendan been doing for this last year? He's got an exhibition, or it's an online thing, or whatever it might be. I'm really super keen to see what he's created, and I think that's could be a really cool way to go with landscape photography, is just keep some of these shots to yourself and then bring them out in your own way.
Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? Because if you look at trying to do that, basically what you're leveraging off there is purely your name and whatever else you've released in the past.
That's
so
right.
You could technically promote an exhibition through social media, but you'd have to literally put a disclaimer and say, this photo is not in the exhibition, or be an interesting way to do it. Or do you just have a black box that has your name on it and says exhibition, that's it, and people are like, that's intriguing. I think you'd find that would probably work quite well.
Yeah, and I think that's, I guess, it's probably around the fact, if you've had a history of good work, or a history of people, like you said, people know your work, that maybe it will. But I don't know. I keep finding myself pushing away to this point that less is more in a lot of things. So taking less photos but better photos, putting less online but making sure it's engaging, or maybe holding back and saying, right, if you want to see these really nice photos that I think I've taken, pop on down here, or check it out online, or there'll be a secret special gallery on my website or something like that, where you can go and check these photos out that no one's seen before.
And then 12 months down the track, they get released, but a new exhibition comes in of brand new images. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Because I was going to say, well, if you go back to the olden days when these, these legends of landscape photography, they had exhibitions, or they released a calendar, or they put a book out every year, or you didn't see the book, you didn't see Peter Dombros's book before he put it out. It came out and you went, oh crap, I'll buy that. That looks unreal. And then you went through, and I still to this day, I've got a lot of photography books from different photographers around the world, and you pick them up and you flick through, and you actually spend time looking at the photo. You look into the photo, you can see the story, you can read the story. We don't do that anymore. We just chuck it online, and then it's, oh, that's a good photo. Next. It's like a whorehouse of photography. Just in and out real quick. So anyway, I'd love to hear what. That's a terrible analogy. But I'd love to hear. I don't know. I'd love to hear what people's thoughts of that are. Like, I know, everyone needs social media, and we like to use it, and it's got its benefits for businesses, individuals, whatever. That's fine. But are we missing the impact of our images for the images that we think are important to what we're shooting? Are we missing that whole impact that we would normally have? Are we letting that go, all for the sake of a bit of a tick and a like and a love heart, and away you go? So
no, that's right.
I don't know.
It's an interesting topic, a little bit of a can of worms, I reckon. So if you've got any comments about that, bang it in the description below. I'd be interested to hear people's feedback on that. on that. The last thing I'll say, it sort of reminds me of, and we've been talking today about various stand-up comedians. I love stand-up comedy. I really enjoy watching stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
But when I go to a show, I want to hear the new stuff. I don't want to.
That's right.
I don't want the dude to be standing up there and rehashing a special that I watched in 2015. I want the new stuff. So, and it'll be an interesting way. And I'm assuming that there's plenty of artists that do this already. I'm not sure about photographers that have been brave enough to withhold images and basically just market an entire exhibition on the fact that you ain't seen this before, and the only way you can see it is to come into the gallery or to come into the space.
Yeah.
And see it. That's
Look,
cool.
I think there has been over the last 10 years or so. There's been a few.
Probably being very naive when I say that.
There has been, but it's funny you say about comedians. Look, your drink bottle's turned into a sunset.
I saw that.
It's funny if you think about like rock concerts or concerts. I love going to concerts, but if I went and saw AC/DC and they played nothing but their new album, you'd be like, take this shit off, get the old stuff on.
Yeah, but that comes back to that old argument: is are you there to, to hear the music, or are you there to see them? Like that, and it's the same with comedians as well. Are you there to hear the jokes, or are you there to see them? It's a funny thing, that, and it'll be interesting. I think you should do it, and I think I'll come. That sounds great.
Yeah, look, I don't know if it's something I will do, but like I said, it's just a conversation that keeps popping its head up.
I'm telling you, it'll be ballsy.
It doesn't, and that's the thing. It doesn't mean, I guess, you still got to keep an online presence. It doesn't mean you can't put images up, but you might just put up. I find myself on Instagram these days rehashing a lot of old images. I'm playing my greatest hits because they're working. I know they get engagement. I know people like them and stuff like that.
And they haven't seen the light of day for some time as well. Like you and I have been in this for a while now, man. We've got quite the gallery of images, that is just sitting there on a hard drive.
Well, I had
buried back in social media 10 years ago.
My mate Jamie, who has actually been helping build my office. G'day, Jamie, if you're listening, because I know he does. He asked me a question today, which I thought was quite interesting. He goes, "Oh, what's your best picture you've ever taken?" I'm like, "No idea. I really like this one." And he made a good point. He goes, "Oh, you've probably got hundreds of thousands of photos." I'm like, "I have got hundreds of thousands of photos, and they're not all masterpieces, and there's few and far between good ones, but to pick out a great image that I like." So the one I resonate with is one that I showed him, and then he showed me the ones he likes of his as well. So it's interesting. So we'll see. I'd like to hear what people's feedback on that is. I really think we might get a mixture of responses for that. I reckon some people might go, "You know what, it would be nice if it was like that." Other people are like, no, it would be social media all the way. I think we'll get a good mixture.
Yeah, for sure. So, looking forward, as I say, hit us up in the description below. It's that time of the podcast, Cam, where we need to make a big announcement.
Serious.
We are going to now talk about our landscape competition that we've had running for the month of August, and again, thanks to our good friends at Digidirect, who have supplied us a $150 voucher, whether you can use at any Digidirect store in the country or online. But it is through Digidirect at Melbourne, and this was to celebrate the remodeling of their flagship store at 217 Elizabeth Street in Melbourne. If you are in Victoria, in Melbourne, Australia, pop on in, say good day to everyone. Tell them that you watched the Down South photo show. They'll go, "The what now?" But that's fine.
Yeah. I was gonna say, tell them you watched that and then step back a meter or two.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So what we did, we had a stack of entries. It was great. It was all really good, August. Really good. And today we're recording this on the last day of August, and Can put a post up to get your entries in. So we got a little spike of entries towards the end, which is great. So thank you to everyone who took the time to enter.
I hope no one's entered late since we've been recording this, because I shut them at 8 o'clock.
Bad luck. I hope you can enter into the next one. So this has gone out on Friday, the 2nd of September. So hello to everyone in the future. Cam yesterday on Thursday put up our shortlist on our social media accounts. Putting it up on Facebook, Cam, or Facebook?
Facebook, yes, that's correct.
Yep, it went up on our Facebook page. The shortlist of 10 that we chose.
It
was pretty cool the way we did it, actually, because Cam obviously had all the photos. He put them in a Dropbox for me. I had a look at them, and lo and behold, we pretty much came up with identical shortlists. So
we did, didn't we?
Yeah, it was actually a little bit spooky.
it was actually probably the most we've actually been scripted together without actually trying to be scripted together.
Yes, we were in sync. And
good band. There's another good band.
Not really. Sync. It goes without saying that we both picked the same winner, which was pretty awesome. And because I blabber on too much on this podcast, Cam, it is your duty and honor to announce the winner of our Digidirect $150 gift voucher. The winner is,
well, like I said, there was a heap of entries that came in. We shortlisted
look at you just padding it out longer and longer and longer.
longer and longer and longer. So funnily enough, the winner of the $150 Digidirect voucher, surely they're going to give us more vouchers, I reckon. If they're Mark, if you're listening, hit us up for some more vouchers, will you, mate?
I think we need to do this again.
But funnily enough, the image that Brendan and I both were drawn to and chose as the number one image was actually the only image out of the whole lot submitted that wasn't in color, which is very weird. So the winner is the only black and white photo that was entered, and that's not saying you need to enter black and white to win. But Susan Rockcliffe, congratulations to you. It's a beautiful image. We'll put that up on the screen now, won't we, Brendan?
It will be there now. Bang. Hovering right
sure?
There. Yes.
It's a beautiful image. I don't know where it is. It looks coastal. It's a beautiful coastal scene. It's got these sea grasses and the wind's blowing. You can really feel the energy of that ocean there. It's got some pretty cool storm clouds, but just a really lovely shot. I love the tonal range in it. It's really nice. The horizon's straight, which is always a good thing. And I'm pretty sure that Susan hasn't dropped the sky in as well. So congratulations.
The cool thing, Cam, is until you just said it, I didn't realize that it was the only black and white photos submitted. So
yeah,
there you go. That's funny, isn't it? And look, maybe that drew my eye to it. I'm not sure, but it's a ripping composition. Like it's
nice,
moody, it's broody, it's the contrast for the image is great. It's sharp. It's this is the kind of photo I love because I like to look at the detail, the barbed wire fence, the post.
Yes.
It's really cool. Look at those grasses. Like this is great.
And the grasses are all blowing towards the camera, which I love. Like you can tell it's windy and you can tell it's moving that way. So I think, and the storm clouds in the back, it just oozes mood, and it's a great shot. So but there was some other.
If a landscape ever had character, you've captured it. Yeah, I think that's what I'll say about that.
Yeah, and there was we did a top 3, and we'll make mention. We'll make mention of those on the Facebook page, I think. But it was really hard. The top 10 that we picked out, really, any of them could have been the top 3, and but we both keep coming back to this black and white image. So well done to Susan, and we'll be in touch to give you your $150 voucher. Well, feel free if you want to send us a slab of beer or something like that. Like that's fine. We don't happy to take bribes afterwards. But no, go spend it on something based on the photo that Susan's taken. I don't think she really needs too much gear. I think she's mastered what she's doing with her camera.
Yeah.
So maybe a cleaning cloth or something.
This is where we get a message from Susan that that's shot on a Samsung Galaxy S20 or something.
Ooh, if it's on a phone, we might have to disqualify.
It may be.
I don't know. Does it tell us in the minute? It should tell us in the metadata.
You know, I'm searching the properties of it now, and
so I can't see it. No, I can't see it.
It's not going to tell us because that's basically a screen grab of it. But
screen grab. But yeah, so that was awesome.
Whatever. I don't care what it's taken on as long as it's a great photo. And awesome. And yeah, look, again, the quality of entries was bloody terrific. There's some absolute rippers in there. There's actually one there that I'm borderline asking if I can buy it from the for digital use so I can print a copy of it myself. But that's
which one's that one?
That's the one that I mentioned earlier with the gum tree and the rocks.
Right. I reckon that person might be interested in letting you print those. Obviously.
Okay. All right.
We'll get in touch with it. But you go. No, you go.
I was going to say the diversity of the entries was great as well. we covered a lot of different landscapes, a lot of different areas. We had winter shots, we had summer shots, we had autumn shots, we had spring shots. We had a lot of mist. We had
coastal, outback,
inland, mountainous, outback, everything. Yeah, no, it was really, really diverse. So thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. We'll definitely do that again at some point. So as Cam quite rightly pointed out, our friends at Digidirect, whose logo has adorned this episode all the way through.
Surely not.
Thank you once again for your help with getting that off the ground. That was
does that just sit on every episode now, that Digidirect logo?
No. August was their month.
Oh, right. Okay. Just asking.
If you have a photography-related business that would like to sponsor,
yeah, there you go. Yeah. And if you'd like to see the top 10, we'll put them on Facebook, but we're not putting them on until this time next year.
That's right. Exactly.
You'll have to wait 12 months to see them.
Oh, maybe we could set up an exhibition of the top 10. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we could do that. You could print and frame them.
Yeah, for sure. So well done, Susan. Again, thanks for everyone for entering. Good
stuff, everyone.
Yep, we will run another one of those. Our new segment, Tip of the Week, which is normally me just really quickly giving you a hot tip, a pro tip. And this week, the tip of the week is formatting your memory cards, people.
Is that before or after you take the photos off them?
Well, generally after you've taken the photos off them. So quite simply, the reason I like to mention this is because when you delete a photo off your memory card, it's still there. Okay, so if you just hit delete, I know, right? It sounds counterintuitive. However, when you delete an image off your memory card, it is still there. Basically, when you hit the delete button, it's just the image gets compressed and software gets written over that part of the memory card to say it's not there anymore, but it's actually still there. So we can recover memory cards at camera and photo if you accidentally delete your memory card for that reason. So if you format your memory card, you are taking your memory card back to pretty much the day you bought it. In other words, you are wiping it completely clean. So another little analogy I can give you, if you have a chalkboard and you write in chalk, but you get a duster to wipe it off, you can still sort of see remnants of the chalk. But if you get a sponge and a bucket of water and wash it down, then it's gone back.
All right. So what you're saying is people need to dip their memory card in a bucket of water to delete them. Okay.
Yes, that's how you delete photos. So we need you to be doing this. And why? So that your memory card doesn't get clogged up with remnants of old photos. So a memory card that you bought a year ago might now only be taking 1,000 photos when it used to take 1,500. That is the reason that you do not format your memory cards.
Do you prefer to format in camera or in your computer?
Depends on where the memory card is. Generally, I will do it in camera. So generally, I'll do it. So I've downloaded the photos. I've taken the memory card out. I've triple checked, made sure the photos are on my PC, put the memory card in the camera. A lot of cameras have shortcuts to formatting where you hold two buttons down and it formats it, but it's pretty quick and easy to find format in the menu, particularly if I'm going on a big trip. So if I end up taking, and I definitely will take more than one memory card, for example, on our big hike next year, I will sit there and format those memory cards before I go and make sure they're all good to go. So there might be 3 memory cards, for example. I'll go through and format them all and make sure they're all ready to go.
You start on a completely clean slate is what you start on.
I do like doing that because then also when I get to the other end of the trip and I go to download, I'm not hunting through 400 photos of Mungo and of Dalesford and of, they're all going to be the overland track in Tas Vegas.
Tas Vegas. You're going to need a few memory cards on that trip, my friend.
What about one 256 gigabyte card? Would that do?
Oh, there's another question. Do you risk it just one memory card or you take one in case one fails?
All of your eggs in one basket? No, I'm all about redundancy and I would much rather take, I'll take probably 4 memory cards and they will all be probably 32 gig or something like that.
Okay. It's real safe. Very good.
Yeah. The great thing about memory cards is what do they weigh?
Yeah,
like nothing. Like 2
and
grams.
they take no room up either.
Correct. So I'll be stuffing those bad boys in little hidden pockets and zips. In fact, funny, I should mention
stuffing them.
Yes, I did that thing the other night. I had because my camera bag stays in my van all the time, and there was a relatively nice sort of sunset. It was when I was at Torquay, and I went down there and I grabbed the camera out. What do you know? No memory card in the camera. And I went, oh yeah, that sounds pretty typical. And then
Surely they'll have one in the glove box.
Well, unzipped my the side hidden pocket in my camera bag, and there was like 8 memory cards in there. So I was like, there you go. That's what I wondered where they got to. So always keep memory cards kicking around wherever you can, and yes, keep one in the glove box of your car.
Yeah, I still haven't done that.
You need to.
I do.
So that's a tip. Format your memory cards. That's a good tip. Yep. Episode 52, Dear Cam. We didn't get one this week, so if you have a Dear Cam question, please send it to us via email or by direct message, or however you want to send us a Dear Cam question if you have one.
And we had the call out for horror stories, and we did have a horror story about a leech, but I'm still trying to find where it is. I've got to find whether or not it was emailed me or messaged me, but. Yeah, still can't find it. I've been looking all bloody episode. I can't find the bloody story.
Stay tuned in episode 53 for a horror story about leeches when you're taking photos.
It wasn't on the YouTube, was it? On the YouTube. I'm starting to sound like you now.
It was probably on the Facebook or the YouTube.
Maybe we're just too old to do this photography stuff. I don't
know. That is episode 52. What do you got coming up this week, Mr. Blake?
So I've been doing a bit of printing the last couple of days, which is good, catching up on a few orders and things. So
photo's not a photo until it's printed.
That's right. So I got a few photos to drop off and sent out a book today. What else have I been doing? Sort of relaxing a bit. I've got an Olympus Day coming up next weekend. So
on the 10th of September.
10th of September, got an OM Digital, OM Systems, artist formerly known as. And then the week after that, I am on the Spirit of Spew, back to the mainland, and we go up to Flinders Ranges.
Fantastic.
So up to Flinders Ranges for another trip. So, yeah, I'll be around next weekend. Next week we can do another episode.
Sounds good.
Episode 53. Hey, here's a fun fact for you. Episode 53. Did you know there's a 53 factual? What is it? Fractional?
Factorial.
Factorial. That's bigger than 52.
It certainly is.
By a
factor of 53.
if you have a deck of cards with an extra joker in it.
Correct. Or what if you left both jokers in there? Huh? You'd be there for even longer.
Now, today, we're getting to the end of the episode, and today I asked you about putting something towards the end of the episodes to see if people are still watching and / listening. Do we want to do that? Or
we should. We really should.
We really should.
Because I'm only 49, I watch a YouTube channel called How Ridiculous. Do you know those guys?
Oh, the Aussie guys?
Yeah, the guys from Perth.
Yeah, they're cool.
They are cool. They do just dumbass things of, hey, how many plates can we smash with this bow and arrow? And what happens if you drop a fridge off a 44-meter tower? All that sort of stuff.
They do very funny stuff.
They do, and they have this thing called the 44 Club, and and basically the reason they put it in there was so that that would get people to listen all the way to when they got a shout out if you're in the 44 Club.
Oh, right, okay.
And it was just made up on the spot in one of their earliest YouTube clips, but every single YouTube clip they say 44 Club, thanks for hanging around. So we need to have a little club.
A 52 Club.
52 Factorial Club. Thanks for hanging around.
Yeah. We need to do something, don't we?
Guys, do yourself a favor and look up 52 Factorial. It'll bend your mind, I guarantee it.
I would also like to, before we go, happy Father's Day to everyone this weekend.
Nice one. Good call.
Yeah,
Father's Day
I think
on
so.
Sunday.
And also happy birthday to my young boy, Jamison. He'll be turning the ripe old age of 7.
Wow. Hey?
He's pretty excited. He all he wants is toys, which is fair enough. It's his birthday. He can have what he wants pretty much.
And that's on Father's Day, is it?
It is on the same day as Father's Day.
What an awesome gift you got on Father's Day.
Pretty good. Thanks, Lisa, for that.
No. Nice work. Give yourself a pay rise.
Yeah, I reckon. Talking of pay rises, Lisa's doing a day of work for me these days. And today she had a 2-hour lunch and did some online shopping and not much else.
Hopefully she did online shopping for you for Father's Day.
No. She's just buying stuff for herself.
No, that's not
liar. Apparently I'm lying. She's
wow. Is that the first time Lisa has ever spoken on the podcast?
It might be the first time we've ever heard her sweet little voice on the podcast. I reckon we should have it on. I reckon we should have our wives on as a special guest.
Up until now, no one thought Lisa was real.
No one thought Lisa existed. And when they meet Lisa and they go, okay, what are you hanging out with Cam for? They still think she shouldn't exist around me. But she's here.
Now, we're just quickly talking about what we've got coming up. We will throw our minds back 12 months ago when the footy finals rolled around, and we just about dedicated an entire episode to my football club. Well, they're back up into their necks in it again.
This is not a footy show.
It's not. So
who they got? Sydney.
When this podcast comes out, I will be sitting in the stands of the MCG in the Shane Warne stand.
Yes.
Going for the Mighty Demons. So good luck if your team is in the finals.
Who's Carlton playing?
That's a good question. I can't remember.
Because they were in the 8 all year. Like, they must be playing someone.
In the 8, all bar 100 seconds. 100 seconds of the year of the season. That's
again. I'd do a shout out to our friend who barracks for Carlton, but he doesn't talk to me anymore. So
stop it.
Nor does he watch the show. Not this far anyway.
I can't for the life of me work out why.
I don't know. I thought I was a good mate. I thought, but anyway.
Also, final plug for our businesses: cameraandphoto.com.au, and Cam, you are at
tasphoto.com.au. I have started selling the spots for the World Heritage Area Tasmania tour in March next year. So have a look at that. I think you've got a link in the description that's there. Check it out. We will see this on that trip. So tasty. strap yourselves in with the doors off, and away we go.
Yeah, no, that's going to be brilliant. All right, guys, thanks for listening to episode 52 of the Down South Photo Show. We will see you for episode.
I've seen what you're doing here, Brendan. You're trying to make this go for 52 minutes, aren't you?
Who, me?
Yeah, I'm watching you.
We will see you for episode 53 next week.
No, I'm going to crap on even longer, so it goes 53 minutes. Nah,
bye for now.